Okay. I am a park volunteer, and my duties include living history. So I give historical interpretation, I give museum tours here, battlefield tours here, and I help the archivist, the lady we've just passed, and I'm digitizing and cataloging historical records for the Park Service. So, kind of a catch-all, do a little bit of this and that to help them out.
I bet like the Civil War affected where we live.
Today, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Civil War at that time period, people didn't travel very far from where they lived. And you're lucky if you went 20 miles from where you lived your whole life. Well, the Civil War kind of opened things up because after the war, the people that had been soldiers had been to different places they'd never been before. And some of them actually, especially the northern soldiers, would come south and move here and live here, different from where they were raised. So the Civil War brings about a way of us expanding our country. The other thing that's going on is you have both Northerners and Southerners moving out west. Again, it opens up after the war because everything's kind of compact, and then it opens up and everybody's kind of moving around a little bit more than they had been because of the Civil War.
Okay. Do you think that its influence will sort of fade over time? Like it won't be as much of a present feature around Cobb County?
No, because the Civil War was very detrimental to the county, and it played a very significant part here in the 1864. And I think it's part of Cobb County's history, and it's part of what makes Cobb County expand. And I think one of those things is this park. Because there was a battle fought here, what happens? We build a national park here. Well, people are going to come here to visit the national park, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What if you're from out of state? What are you going to do? You're going to stay at a hotel. That's going to help a local businessman. You're going to eat at a local restaurant. You may have a job at a local restaurant, okay? So that person traveling to come see the park, the history of the Civil War, is helping you. So yes, I think it's going to continually be a significance of something, even though it was so long ago, its ramifications still with us. Okay?
Since you've lived here, how has sort of has anything been added to our history or sort of like become less important since you or started working here more?
I think not less important. I think what's happened is, you mean specifically the park or just history in general? Yes,
Yeah,
a little of both?
yeah.
Okay. Let's start with history in general. What I have seen in the 20 years I've been connected with this park is we like to focus on just the battle and the guys fighting each other. Well, now we've expanded that. What's going on to the people in Marietta? What's going on with the people that live on the farms here in Cobb County? The battle wasn't just affecting those soldiers shooting each other, it was also affecting anybody living in the area. And that's the significance, is that we're trying to go beyond just the soldiers, but who else is involved? What about the slaves that were here in Cobb County? How did that affect them with the war coming right to their doorstep? How did that affect the people in the town of Marietta? How did that affect, so that's significance because we're looking at the Civil War in a broader scope to take in everything rather than just a narrow focus. So in that regard. Now, as far as the significance I've seen here at the park itself, because it's a large green space in a metropolitan large city, a lot of people come here not so much for the history, but just because it's a park setting and trees, and we have a lot of animals here that you can see birding, and we have a lot of deer in the park. So people come here to enjoy the natural aspects. You were talking about cultural natural resources. Okay, so we're taking in the the natural resources of it being in a wooded area and a mountain. You know, everybody likes to go to the top of the mountain and see all the vistas from the mountaintop. And sometimes we see an increase in that, and sometimes in doing all that, which is great, we kind of lose sight that there was a bloody battle fought here and people died here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they say, you know, that anytime you have a tragic deaths like that, there still might be a ghost around. Now, I've never seen one here. I have at Andersonville. Yeah. My wife did too, so we both saw it. I'm not crazy, so we both saw it. Yeah, so sometimes when there's, you know, at these Civil War things, like they say at Gettysburg, there are ghosts up there. So now, like I said, I've never seen any at Kennesaw, so I don't want you to go out there saying, "Oh, this guy's telling me there's ghosts out." There might be. I don't know. I don't know, but I just know that we get caught up in picnicking and walking our dog, and we sometimes miss the fact that men died here.
All right. Anything else that you think would be important to add?
I think it's wonderful what you're doing, okay? Because you're learning about where you live, and you're learning how something that happened so way far away from when you lived, way far away from when I lived, but how it could affect you in the long run. Maybe not a big thing like 9/11, but